Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the T92 HMC. It's the Tier 10 American SPG. It's located on the north spawn of Erlenberg, and this one is under the command of Oksydor of OLIMP. And yes, he's got the improved rammer, gun rotation device, and gun lane drivers as equipment. Well, as you can probably see as well, he's actually in platoon with a Manticore, which is being commanded by Topic Von Trooper of the Sophie clan. Well, that's going to be useful because he's going to need spotting so he can put shells from this 24cm howitzer down onto the target. Now, he's not moving too far away from the spawn point, and it didn't matter there that he dropped into the water, but if you do that too often, you sometimes get it wrong. You might actually damage the vehicle. Okay, well, he's ready to shoot. He's loaded, and he's got a target coming across the bridge at the moment. And MBT Air B, which is a Tier 10, it's a Tier 11 game with Tier 10 tanks in it. And we're looking at the Heshbon. Oh! He got a penetrating shot with that round, and that was the non-stun HG, which is capable of 1420 alpha and 75mm of pen, and he got 1514, which means that was a high roll. Very nice indeed. The standard reload is 46.98 seconds, and we're going to find out very shortly exactly how much Oksydor's currently got. Okay, 36.91, so he's actually dropped it by 10 seconds. And now we've got a Panzerwagen up there. Oh, we managed to catch him for 430, but he did move away from the aim point just a little bit before the shell came in. Now, as you know, the T92 HMC, they only made a few of them, but it was based on the Pershing hull, the M26 Pershing, and that's what they had available at the time. They made them in March of 1945, and they were going to use them for the invasion of Japan, Operation Olympic or Operation Downfall, depending on which way you look at it, because there were both operations were listed. Rounds out. That's a direct hit. No explosion means we touched the target exactly. And I suspect that that guy is now missing a huge amount of hit points. Because more than likely, if he hit him, he would have penetrated him as well. Or at least we can't be guarantee it, but we can certainly speculate that that's exactly what happened. And look, we've got another one, a TVPT 5051. And with these extra HE shells, with that extra penetration, the 75mm penetration, he might be able to get through the armor of a TVP. Somebody's firing in that general direction, so they think he's still there. There he is. He just moved a little bit. There you go. Rounds out. Have this. Well, he felt it, but he managed to pull back just enough in time to avoid the shell. Now, if you don't know, Oksydor, who is the commander of a clan, OLIMP, actually does stream on Twitch TV, so if you want to catch him, and I did the other day, in fact, I've been watching him for almost as many months, well, since I knew he was around, and that's an awful long time. I think it's something like 38 months on my continuous subscription, and he's just wiped out the STB-1, so he's got his first kill. Yes, so I'll leave a link so you can actually go to his stream and watch him. He does stream quite a few times during the week. And at the moment, he is playing the T92 a lot. So he's actually sent in more than a few replays featuring this beast. And he's getting good results. Okay, the enemy's starting to retreat a little. Now, you can see the rescue was a bit jumping around there. But that's because he had to move the vehicle in order to get it to dial in on targets. And he's looking at that leopard. I think he was hoping the guy was going to sit behind that house because he would go out of the game. Oh, he's tagged him. He tagged him with that shell. He placed the shell where he thought the guy was going, and yeah, he went straight into that spot, and he met the shell coming the opposite way. Oh, we've been spotted though. That's bad news. The enemy do have an Arty. It's a batch at 155.58, and well, Arty players have an obligation to try and take out their opponent because only they know how efficient an Arty can be when it comes to doing damage to the enemy. He's holding it just in and out the water, but that is actually quite an unfortunate position to be in, because if you're in the water like that, then you're not able to, with the gun pointing up, you're not able to get targets that are closer to you. So somebody spotted him. And remember, Erlenberg has a new configuration now. It's a lot different than it used to be. Our friend in the Manticore has come to help us. That's it, Topic Von Trooper. And you see, I'm having difficulty trying to get the gun to come down so we can shoot at this target, which is very close. And he does get him. He wipes him out. Teaches him a lesson. And the Manticore, Topic, managed to get the kill on the Panzerwagen as well, who crept over here thinking there was easy meat. And no, he was the easy meat. We've still got an E3 out there as well. Now, he might be looking at us thinking, yeah, I can probably get some damage. In fact, that E5 is definitely looking in our general direction. But we're going to try and hit the E3 if we can, round south. Yup, it splashed him. And the shell came straight back in his direction. So, yeah, the guy looked at the line of fire and said, well, I'll put a round in there just in case I can catch the guy. Most Arty players wouldn't have moved, but you can see that Oksydor is too smart to do that. He will move in such a way as to make sure he can see what happens to the shell, but then make sure he's out the way. Now, he did look away, but we saw the shell impact, or at least splash the target. Okay, who's next? He can't see the tanks in the castle grounds at the moment, but he can see that one, and it's a Jaeger. And unfortunately, because he looked away there, we didn't see where that shell went, but I'm pretty certain that it missed. Now he's hiding, using that position. Better this than be out in the open and get tagged. The Jaeger looks like he's on his way in to try and claim us. Turning around, pulling back. We've also got to watch out for that Super Conqueror, who's got very close to our cap areas on the other side of the river. There's the BZ-75. He's a goner if we can get a shell on him, because he's very low on hit points. Mind you, we're low on hit points now because, of course, we took that one tag shot from the Panzerwagen. Cost us 294 hit points. There's the Jaeger who just poked through. Oh, he did get some hit points off it this time. 665. And we're back into cover again. Just managed to make it up in time to avoid drowning. Of course, Arty players never deliberately drown, or at least members of what Arty Noobs don't deliberately drown, because we know that the longer you stay alive, the more chances you've got of getting hit points off the enemy, even if it's right at the end of the battle and you have to ram the enemy to get those hit points. And the E3's decided to come down and get us. In fact, oh dear, Terrific took a round there, and it was a biggie, 155mm. And unfortunately, he's lost most of his hit points. And now he's been tagged by the Arty as well. We've lost sight of the E3 temporarily. There he is. And he fired one in this direction. We're just pushing a bit forward so we can get a better line up on the target. That'll do. And 795 from that penetration, but yeah. Back into cover. We're only 2 down on the enemy, so it's not a foregone conclusion that we're going to win it, but in fact, it's looking very much like we might lose this one, but let's hope that he can pull something off. He's managed to do 5,673 hit points of damage already, and we're going to go for it again. We've just been spotted. Well, he managed to dive back into the water in time to stop any enemy shell from hitting him, but he did get 370 hit points, and now the enemy Arty is trying to stop us as well. You notice how he's parked some distance away from where he was, so any Arty shells are landing far enough away that they can't do him damage. There's that BZ75 again. Now, can we get a shot on him? Oh, the Arty fires around at us. Now, he tried manually aiming on that one because it was very difficult for him to get the gun to depress. This Arty doesn't really have any gun depression. In fact, now terrific. Oh, he died, but he did die, providing us a gun shield. So once we've reloaded, we might be able to get a shot on the E3, but it's very questionable because we might receive a round before. And in fact, he's now decided he has to back up. Almost loaded. He's locked on. Can he get a shot? Yes, he does. But look at this. The BZ75 comes in behind him. And I think he's now... Oh, he's now struggling because it looks like he might drown. Oksydor's trying to do his best. Oh, he's thrown the BZ75 off, but it's the Jaeger that comes in and we get wiped out by the hacker. Here's the end of battle stats, and that was a first-class tanker for Oksydor of OLIMP in the T92 HMC. He managed to get a fighter badge for getting at least 4 kills, the last kill being the T110E3, as well as a hunter badge for getting at least 100 vehicles of the feline family. And on top of that, he also got a bruise medal for getting at least 5 critical hits in this game. He managed to get 21. Got a Gauze medal for doing more damage, exceeding 8 times the hit points for his own vehicle. And in that battle, he got the High Caliber for dealing the most damage in the game, but it was a loss. But his win rate was 11,687, which is super unicorn, which is what we expect from Oksydor, because he does that all the time. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, the high damage in this game was 7,082 hit points to Oksydor. Second highest was the Jaeger, who managed 5,312, followed by the MBTB, who managed 4,280. You can see how many hit points that he did over at the second place on his team. And there's his platoon mate, Tofik von Trooper, who managed to get 1,759. And that's pretty good in Manticore. Remember, they've got a 390 Alpha. He also got a patrol duty in that game for spotting at least 6 enemy tanks, being the only one spotting them whilst they were being damaged. When it came to kills, though, he shared the top spot because he got 4 kills, so did the Jaeger and the hacker. And of course, the hacker was the one who actually killed him in the end. 2 kills went to the Kranvan on his own team, the E3 rather, and the E5 on the enemy team. And when it came to base XP, it's the Jaeger who came out on top with 1,066. He was the only one to get over 1,000 base. 958 went to the hacker, and 883 went to the MBTB, and we can see that Oksydor got 594. He fired 14 rounds. You only get 16 rounds in this vehicle because obviously it's a very big shell, but they only give you a limited amount of ammunition. Really, they should give you a lot more. It's so easy to run out of ammunition with this Arty and, of course, with the Object 261. He got 9 direct hits on the enemy and 5 penetrations and 7 splash. Damage of 7,082 hit points, of which 5,647 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see a fair amount of damage, over 1,400 hit points, was done at close range. 3 hits received, 2 of them were penetrations, 1 non-penetration, and 1 hit by way of splash damage from an enemy Arty that managed to stun him. He damaged 9 of the enemy, killed 4 of them, and he earned a loss in this game of minus 3,556 credits. And that's because, of course, he had all those ammunition costs, and then he had consumables, and he had to repair the vehicle as well. But he did get the Courageous Resistance because he got an Epic and a Battle Hero medal. He also picked up 1,407 experience points out of it as well, with Courageous Resistance of 516 experience points on top. So, first battle we see from Oksydor is a loss, but he went down fighting right at the end. He was desperately trying to stay alive and reload so he could finish off either the BZ or one of the other tanks that were coming in to try and kill him, but they were determined to squash him if they could. I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like, and thank you for watching.